I'm going to record this. I'll send it to Mom. So next door neighbors, if the numbers next to each other on the number line, it's one jump away. So 10 minus 9 is right next to each other on the number line. It's one jump away. So this equals 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Near next door neighbors means it's not exactly the next door neighbor, but it's still pretty close to the number line. So 8 lives 2 jumps away. 1, 2. 9 lives 2 jumps away. So it's close to being a next door neighbor. It's just not an exact next door neighbor. So if I had 12 minus 10, we know that 10 and 12 are pretty close to each other, right, Mackenzie? But they're not exact next door neighbors. So when you see a number that is pretty close to one another like this, 4 and 2, you're going to start seeing, hey, that might be a near next door neighbor. It'll start happening. It doesn't happen right away, but you'll start going, hey, that sure does look familiar. Now for the rest of the subtraction facts, there's not many left. We have a strategy for all of them, except for a few. That's it. So all of the other ones are either a -1, a -2, a -0, a -3, a -4, a minus itself, a minus next door neighbor, or a minus near next door neighbor, except for these. Now these are tricky. So the easiest way to deal with these ones is called turn it around. What you're going to do is you're going to take the small number plus blank equals the big number. And the reason why we do this is because it's very easy to add. It's harder to subtract. So the small number here is 7. 7 plus a blank equals 10. So Mackenzie, if I'm at 7, how many jumps do I have to take to get to 10?
You would have to take 4.
8, 9, 10. So we don't start with this number, we start with the number after. So what comes after 7 is 8, 9, 10. 3 numbers, right? So we don't count the number that we're using, we count the number after. We do count the number that we're trying to get to, because if we don't do that, we're going to still be at 9. The reason why we don't start at 7 is because we've already gotten to 7. Now we have to jump 1, 2, and then we can't stop here. We have to get to 10 or else we'll be stranded at 9. So now we're going to do another one. This takes a little while to get used to, but you will get used to it and it'll start popping out at you. You won't even have to think about it. But at first, just like anything else, it's a little tricky. So 6 plus something equals 10. So what do you think? If I go up 7, 8, 9, 10, how many jumps did I do?
If you go up to 7, 8, 9, 10, 4.
Yeah, so the answer is 4. This one can be easy because I know a fact family that helps me here. 5 plus something equals 10. 5 plus 5. 6 plus something equals 9. Well, I know I start at 7, 8, 9. That's a 3. 5 plus something equals 9. I start at 6 and go 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 4. I take the small number plus blank equals the big number. I start at 6, 7, 8. That's a 3. So this gets easier if we learn something that is called getting to 10. That's what I call it. So I'm going to figure out the ways that I can try to get to 10. So if I have a 10 right here and I already have a 1, what will I need to get to 10? I will need a 9 because 1 plus 9 is 10. If I have a 10 here and I'm trying to get to 10 and I start with a 2, I need 8 to go with that. If I have a 10 here and I'm trying to get to 10 and I start with a 3, I know that a 7 and a 3 would equal 10. This isn't easy yet, but you'll start to understand it when you practice it a few times, which is why I'm making the video. This one is, if I start with a 4, I would add a 6 to get to 10. So 4 and 6 go together to make 10. Then my last one is a 5, and I know 5 plus 5 is 10. Now for the next one, this is pretty cool. This is the good part about addition. I already have a fact family right here. I know 6 and 4 go together. So just because this is first doesn't mean that I can't use the same fact family. My 6 is first, my 6 is second, but I still know that 4 and 6 go together. So I already know that this and this go together. If I start with a 7, I already have a fact family that goes with that one. 7. And I know that 7 and 3 equal 10, and it doesn't matter what order it's in. If I start with a 3, the answer would still be 7. But if I start with a 7, the answer's still going to be 3. Doesn't matter. So once I figure out these fact families, I can figure out the rest of the fact families. I already have a fact family that has an 8 in it. So 8 and 2 go together. So now I can just put my 2 here. And I already have a fact family with 9 in it. What is my fact family that goes with 9, Mackenzie?
Fact family that goes with 9 would be 1.
Mm-hmm. So here are our fact families all together. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 9 plus 1 equals 10. 2 plus 8 equals 10. 8 plus 2 equals 10. 3 plus 7 equals 10. 7 plus 3 equals 10. 4 plus 6 equals 10. 6 plus 4 equals 10. 5 plus 5 equals 10. 5 plus 5 equals 10.